What's up, fellow degenerates? This is your leader, Patrick. We are on the path to degeneracy together. I'm taking y'all down with me. Today, we have a bodybuilding day, kind of. It is back and buys. We start off with some back work. We do some supersets. Literally everything except for straight up bicep curls today is supersetted. So you'd best believe we are busting out the super pre-workout. Well, not pre-workout. It's like intro workout because it goes directly into the system and it works right away to make pumps bigger, fuller. It's basically just a vasodilator that works really, really well. So I just finished taking a nap at home because it's the day before Thanksgiving and I got let out of work early, but I got out of training yesterday extra late. So that being said, I didn't get enough sleep last night. So what I opted to do is what's called biphasic sleeping, where you split your sleep into two manageable sections. So I did about I I mean I did about 6 hours of sleep last night, and then I finished off with a 2 hour nap once I got home. So that's 8 hours. When you're trying to go for strength gains and strength goals, it's always more optimal to get all 8 hours of sleep in a single session. If you can't manage getting more than 8 hours, then 8 hours will suffice. But anything less, like 6 hours, you're shooting yourself in the foot. You should really focus on getting your sleep. And like just look at what you do at night and look to see what kind of revenge procrastination that you are submitting yourself to, whether it's doom scrolling through Instagram or just watching TV. Like, is it really necessary? Are you really missing out on anything if you don't do that? Not really. But are you missing out on gains because you're not sleeping enough? Absolutely. So I just finished off getting my 2 hour nap in. I took a nap with my parents' dog, Zelda, and I'm on my way to the gym. Now, I have a stash of food at work that I dive into every time that I go to the gym, which is after every single day that I'm at work. And my nutrition plan right now calls for the majority of my carbs to be eaten, consumed around the time that I'm training. So I have 95 carbs worth of uh, I've just got 95 carbs programmed for pre-training along with a 50-gram protein shake. Now, I was a dummy and I left my 95 carbs at work. I've been doing Hawaiian sweet rolls because the program says 2 bagels or 95 carbs. And bagels plain and like when I was it was on my program before to have plain bagels with no butter, no cream cheese or anything on it. And I was like, I was struggling with it. And Briani, my nutritionist, was like, oh, just dip it in like your protein shake, make it a little easier to consume like that, like dissolve it. And I was like, I'd rather choke myself out than do that. So I absolutely did not do that. And now that she gives me the choice of that or 95 carbs, I'm going with the 95 carbs. She didn't specify what kind of carbs it has to be, whether or not it's sucrose, dextrose, maltodextrin, any of those, starch. But I like to kind of keep in the same route if I can of what the carbs are. So we're trying to go for like we're gonna go for like something grainy. Now, I live in New England, right? Which means there's Dunkin' Donuts literally fucking everywhere. America might not run on Dunkin', but all of New England absolutely does. The problem with that is if I get a bagel at Dunkin', it's gonna come with cream cheese, butter, and it's gonna be delicious, but I don't have cream cheese or butter programs. So instead of that, we're gonna go to like Rite Aid and see what kind of gas station equivalent snacks that they have there. If they have some sort of like lemon loaf, that'd be good. But something that we can read the nutrition facts for to make sure we get the 95 carbs. That being said, We also have a intra-workout drink thingy, which is 40 carbs through Carbolin or dextrose. Maltodextrin works too, but maltodextrin is it's not that good. I don't like it. Along with essential amino acids, some salt, and a little bit of creatine. 10 grams of creatine. They're being really stuck up about how much creatine I'm allowed to have. I'd prefer to have 50 grams a day, but they're saying 10 to 20. So, oh well. But we are coming up on the right age in which I will be getting my snack, my 95 carbs. Whether or not will be enjoyable to be determined. But we're almost there. We're gonna get our carbs, and then once we get our carbs, we pound our protein shake, and it is go time for the back and by day. And the carb reasoning is we want to abuse the insulin response timing so that we can get bigger pumps, better pumps, more gains, and more power output, better efficient energy usage in the body. So that's the reasoning for all the carbs that we're getting during and after, or before and during. But we also have the majority of our carbs afterwards because we want to fuel our recovery. So that's what we're doing. It's not just random. All right, so I just finished my cardio warm-up, and I just took my non-stim pre-workout, carnitine, choline, B12. I think there's vitamin C in there, NAC, bunch of vasodilators in there. No beta-alanine, because beta-alanine sucks dick. All it does is give you the tinglies. It's not a good sensation. I don't like that. But next thing we got, the first like real lifting that we got today is it's lat pull down, NutriGrip lat pull down. So we're using the mag grips today so that we get we're able to angle our elbows in towards our back a little, pack our lats into our back pockets a little more efficiently due to that neutral grip. But we are also doing reps, and then we're going into tempo. So it's like we basically pre-fatigue our system. Let me get my hand on my waist so you can see my pretty face. We pre-fatigue our system, we do the work, and then it's almost like you edge a little bit. You get to the edge of, all right, I'm tired, and then you slow shit down, you control it with the same weight. So it's like, I think it's 20 reps, and then 5 reps at a 505 tempo. So it's 5 count down, 5 count up. It's difficult. It's difficult, but it teaches you how to grind and how to better get that mind-muscle connection that Kai Green used to talk about all the fucking time. Tap into that, tap into more gains. That's how you get more gains, is you get a bigger pump by activating the right muscles in the exercises that you're actually doing. Otherwise, you'll get no consistency. You won't have the right pump, you won't have the right muscle activation, you'll develop bad habits, and you just won't end up being as strong as if you had actually had good form the whole time. So ain't nothing to it but to do it. Let's do it. Next accessory, 4x20. We're doing seated externally rotated face pull. So like normally you face pull, you go to your face, but we want some external rotation in the shoulder. So going to our face and pulling back a little bit extra, get a little bit more delt pump going on, a little more isolation. We're doing it seated because you can get a lot of body English. Like you can like really rock back and forth, especially when you're standing. So we're going a little more strict with the seated. So sets of 20, 4x20, 90 seconds rest. Oh, let's hate ourselves. So I noticed my back coming off the back of the back paddle a bit. That's a little bit too much body English. You want to stick it to here. Just go like this. Got a pretty nice rear delt pump going on. Nice trap pump going on from that. 55, 45, 90-second rest. So 57, 15 is when I go next. We've got 3x8 dumbbell floor press, right? Now I hate dumbbell floor press because I usually like lap the dumbbells and then like hip thrust it up to get it on my lap. And I was like, can we sub out dumbbell floor press for something else? Because I feel like I'm going to tear something trying to do this shit. So my coach Joe sent me a setup by John Dorsey. Y'all might know him as Goob. You too. Does the fitness frauds shit. And he sets up a bench like this, and then you basically just fall back with them. It's got me nervous because I don't want to die. So wish me luck. That kind of worked. So like the setup was way better. Just thank you, sir. I survived. Thank you. I'm just bigger than Goob. So I like that setup. I kind of just yeeted the dumbbells onto me, but I still don't like actually setting it up. So I did the 3x8 in a single set of 24. Don't do that. It's supposed to be RPE 9, which means I was using the 105s, which means I could probably use the 150s. There's going to be a massive pain in the ass to set up. You know, no one ever talks about how much harder everything becomes when you get stronger. It just gets more annoying. But this is basically like a rich person complaining about having too much money, so I'm going to shut the fuck up. All right, so we've got neutral grip cable rows. 020 tempo. Means 2 count hold, but I'm probably going to do like a 021 tempo because you can never, it never hurts to do too much control. It also blows up the back ends a little better. So we got 6 plates. It's heavier than me. Oh. Looking for that aggressive stretch on the outside. 23:35. Aggressive stretch, aggressive contraction. That's the goal. Not really looking for a pump on this, just get the hyperplasia going. We are on the back 9 of this training day, right? And I keep notes in my Excel spreadsheet the coach sends me every week as to how things went, what felt good, what felt bad, any tweaks that I'm feeling. And my notes from this part of last week just said, the pump that I got from this would make a porn star's cock jealous. So, pretty excited for this. We've got set 3x20, 90-second rest of 013 bicep curls, dumbbells. We're using 25s because we're not swinging around. We're not using body English. We're controlling and contracting, squeezing, feeling the squeeze. Once we're done with that, we've got a 3x8 with the 50s. So we're doubling the weight, cutting the reps in more than half. And we're going to build these anacondas to make Mandingo jealous. Except we're a little pale comparison. If you know what I'm talking about, shame on you. Piper Pieri is a nice lady. $42, so $43.30 when I go again. So the 013 tempo, what it does is increases the time under tension. It increases the time that your muscles are contracting, allows you to think a little better as to, all right, I have to contract my bicep to get this up, hold the squeeze real tight, and then you control it down, feeling the release, feeling the stretch. Like it feels, it feels harder than actually swinging around bigger dumbbells because you like got this. It's like the difference between a shotgun and a sniper, basically, and you're hitting the right muscle groups with the right tempos, with the right, like everything. So if you take anything away from these videos, take the 013 310 tempo. Like 310 is when you start at the top and you go down. Things like I can't think of anything right now. It's mostly just 013 tempo, especially on accessories. You want to focus on the squeeze, the contraction, the control all the way down, and you want to feel that stretch at the bottom. That's what's gonna blow up your size. We got so we already finished the 3x20 lightweight curls. I'm so fucking attractive. Now we got the heavyweight curls, 3x8, 2 minutes rest. We're still going to try and do the 013, even though it's not programmed. But we were going to use the 50s, but the 50s are the hex dumbbells, and hex dumbbells just they don't make. I don't like them. I don't like hex dumbbells. So we got the circle dumbbells, a little different handles. I like these better. These are my favorite dumbbells in here, not because they're 70 pounds, but because the handle's thinner, so I'm able to grip them a little better. But since we're going heavier, we got to add a little bit of tension to the wrist wraps. Not going like third attempt bench tightness. Like, we still got a lot of leeway. I'm still trying to learn how to properly wrap wrists for plat. I don't know. The no thumb loop rule. Your wrap can't touch the. But we got the pump. Now let's use the pump. So 3x8, 70 pounds, 2 minutes rest. Alright, 5250, so 5450. So my left bicep has a shit load of tendonitis going on in it, which causes my bench descent to just slow way down. So trying to do the 013 tempo didn't succeed, but it's not programmed, so it's like not a loss that we're taking. But the caveat to that is making sure that I don't have swinging body English, because every little bit that your hips go into is gains that you're taking away from your biceps. So focusing on keeping things in the arms. All right, so this is the last thing we have today. So, like, remember, if you watched the bench video earlier this week, I think it was day 1 of week 3, Ghost Clash Prep 3, we did a tricep burnout. Not really burnout, but like, it fucking hurt. So we got something kind of similar here today, except we've already done something in a similar kind of mindset as this. The neutral grip lat pull downs that we did earlier today, where we did 20 reps and then 505 tempo. We coach spit on it and just stuck it in again, because we're doing that with triceps now, except instead of doing 20 reps, we're doing 30 seconds. So we can fit, like, we can do a rep a second, do 30 reps. We can do a tempo. We can do just like partial reps and get like a lot of like stutter movement going, getting a lot of blood in the muscles, get a real good pump going on. But I got the Fitbit here. Gonna add a 35-ish second timer, because we're supposed to do 30 seconds. It's gonna take me a little bit to whatever. You can never do too much, but it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt. We do 30 seconds and then 5 reps, 505 tempo. We're gonna hit ourselves the whole time, but we're not gonna complain, because we're not pussies. Just adult men. So ain't nothing to it but to do it. It's 30 seconds, so 505. Time is 4:30. So if it's either 6 or 6:30. But we got the bicep pump going on. We got the tricep pump going on. So it feels like I'm gonna crack my bones if I flex too hard, which is the greatest pump feeling that you can get, other than getting a thick, juicy back pump that'll get all the girls in your area extremely moist. Because abs are for boys, backs are for men. Men get big totals. Fuck you, dots. Let's do a little bit of a Sam Sulek and take off our shirt for no reason other than to attract females to. Oh, look at that. A little bit of chest vascularity going on. A little bit of shoulder. Ooh, bicep vein is going a little. Y'all believe me when I say that, right? But got a little bit of chest vascularity. Got to get in the right lighting. Oh, there it is. On that side, not as much on this side, but this side's less defined, except for on the tricep. Got a little bit of, I don't know if that's tricep vascularity or separation of the muscles going on. You guys believe me, even if you don't actually see it too. Just like how you'll believe when I say that I have a six-pack and a cock that's at least the size of the average male. So hope you bears enjoyed that, because I noticed in my video, whenever I take my shirt off, it always spikes. You guys are fucking weird, but I love you and I appreciate you. All right, boys, let's recap while my windows defog so I can drive home and eat my Fruity Pebbles. A measured amount of Fruity Pebbles. It is on the meal plan. This is not, it is actually on the meal plan. 150 grams of Cocoa Pebbles or equivalent, but on whites. That started to sound racist. It's not. I have a different taste than Brianni does. Brianni likes the Cocoa Pebbles. I like the Fruity Pebbles because white people have a worse taste. It's nothing. Anyways, back in my day, basically a bodybuilding day where we did supersets and basically got a bunch of volume, bunch of weight in our hand, or not a bunch of weight, but like a bunch of reps, bunch of supersets, and a bunch of I'm gonna hate myself kind of things going on. But so we gotta have days like these because you can only get so many accessories in when you've blasted your muscles already with extremely high like CNS drive stuff. And you got to kind of lean into the hypoxic response of I'm nasal breathing the entire time that I'm doing this, making sure that I'm recovering enough. And you also, it's so when you have more muscle, when you have fat is a little more elastic than muscle, so you need a little bit of chunk to your body so that you have more elasticity in your muscles, because the leaner and leaner you get, the higher chance you have for injury. Which is why you're seeing a lot of these like super lean, super small lifters get injuries. The only reason the bigger lifters get injuries is because their form sucks. And they're also lifting heavier weights as opposed to having perfect form, but the muscles just bing. Sucks to be small, doesn't it? But I am a little too chonky. I'm working with Brianni to get my body fat percentage lower. You can kind of see a little bit of not like definition, but you can see a little bit of oblique popping out when I pop the shirt off. And that's pretty much all the definition I've got below the nipples. And working on that to make the deadlift leverages better, because the bell curve of the deadlift is saying that the 220 to 275 weight classes is where you're going to have the best leverages when it comes to deadlifting. The only reason that the super heavies are able to deadlift similar amounts but not more is because they're just stronger. They muscle the weights up. So like if you lean into both sides of that, you become a super heavy, but you're also kind of leaner than what the super heavies generally are. You kind of go into your body structure kind of like what the strongmen are doing. Like you look at Thor at 425 pounds, he's still got ab definition. So like if you can be your like super heavyweight weight, like 350 with defined, like kind of defined abs, you'll be in a good position to get into a good leverage position in order to deadlift better. So that's what I'm aiming for, to try and get that. But also the chonk is also good for the elasticity point of like bouncing off of your belly when it comes to squatting, and also reducing the range of motion for bench. Like I experienced a bit of that this past training cycle. I lost 2 inches of belly. My bench got all messed up. And the amount of inflammation I got from being not prepared for that ended up biting me in the tuchus. But we need days like this because we need to build size. The more size you have, the more kind of like body armor, the more muscle mass you have, the more protected you are from injury. So you need to build up your muscle mass, build up the endurance, elasticity, and your ability to have that mind muscle connection to properly contract the right muscles when you are cueing your body to do specific things. You need days like this. You need days where it's basically a bodybuilding day. Last training cycle, it was all back. This training cycle, we're doing arms and back. It was like bicep and tricep, almost like a back accessory, or not back, a bench accessory day. Well, it was a back accessory day, but days like this, I mean, they're not easy, but they're not hard. They're hard in a different way. They're hard because you have to push to the point where your muscles actually hurt because you're pushing so hard. Like you need to play just the tip with failure, not actually fail, but like feel what it's like to have your muscles give out and try and like squeeze a little bit more nut out of them. You know? That's what's going to teach you how to grind shit out when you've YOLO'd your third attempt on deadlift or on any of the 3 lifts on the platform. You YOLO something on there, you need to be able to grind that out if things go sideways. You need to be able to make sure that you're incorporating the right muscle so that it doesn't go sideways. The ability to grind things is a secondary skill set. If you muscle everything up, you've never really learned how to grind things out. Once you properly learn to lift, being able to muscle things up ends up getting exponentiated. You end up getting a massive total. You see big jumps like going from 800 to 1,000 in 2 years on squats. 5 years. That's what I did. I had an injury though. I had 2 injuries. One before. No. Regardless, grinding is a skill set. If you muscle everything up, you'll never learn how to grind things because you will never be in a position that you'll be able to actually grind something out. But if you're in the correct form positions, you actually know how to like tap into your muscles and get that little extra little nut out of your muscles. You can add a significant amount of muscle mass to your muscles, which will directly correspond to pounds on your total. So bodybuilding days are a thing that happens when you powerlift. I mean, powerlifting days happen with bodybuilders. I mean, Ronnie Coleman was a powerlifter and bodybuilder at the same time. No one's ever been able to replicate what he did, but he did it, so it's viable. Anyways, I'm gonna go home and eat my Fruity Pebbles. So, Patty out.